Hello everyone, my name is Tej and today we will be looking at the rotate a matrix by 90-degree problem that is also LeetCode number 48, which is labeled as rotate image. So in this question we are dealing with a 2D array that is also called a matrix. So it is like this, and this is the array that we are given, and n is the length of the array. So we can visualize this array like this, just in the form of matrix. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the 2D array that we have. So what the question is basically asking from us is that we have to rotate it by 90 degrees. So for you to visualize, I have this cube right here. In this you can see that I have marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the matrix. So now to rotate this array, we just have to just tilt it towards 90 degree towards the right. So just like this. So this is the new array that we want. So in the top you can see 7, 4, 1, 8, 5, 2 and 9, 6, 3. So this is the answer that we are about to get. So I should note it down here for you that this is the answer we are looking for. That is 7, 4, 1, 8, 5, 2, 9, 6, 3. Okay. So we will be doing this in very basic steps, very easy steps. They look easy and they are easy actually. So let me just show you the algorithm that we will be following. So the two steps go like this. The first step would be transpose the matrix. So just transpose the matrix. And if you don't know what transpose means, it basically means interchanging the rows and columns. So imagine this matrix we have here. So as you can see, this particular column we have, this will now become the row in the transpose. So I can write it like this: 1, 4, 7. Okay, so the column here becomes the row, and similarly the second column will become the second row. So it will come here as 2, 5, 8, and similarly the third column will become the third row. So we are just interchanging the rows and columns. So it will be 3, 6, 9. So yeah, this is the transpose of the matrix. So this is the first step. We have achieved this first step, and we have to do this in place in the coding language. We have to do this in place. So without using any secondary array. So now the second step will be to reverse every row of the transpose. I'll just write it down. Reverse every row. Okay, so of this matrix now, because this is the new matrix that we have. So what we will do is just reverse each row. So if we reverse the first row, 1, 4, 7 would be 7, 4, 1, 2, 5, 8 would be 8, 5, 2, and 3, 6, 9 would be 9, 6, 3. So this is the array that we get, and you can see that these two are the complete same. 7, 4, 1, 7, 4, 1, 8, 5, 2, 8, 5, 2, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6, 3. So this is the answer that we will be getting. And as you can see that we are just using two steps, and it is quite easy. And this is a medium level problem on LeetCode, but it is quite interesting as we are dealing with 2D arrays, and the steps are quite easy. Also, I would just like to confirm and say that for the transposing part, as we are doing it in place, we would be using nested loops, of course. And we would be doing it in such a way that the I pointer that calculates the rows and the j pointer that checks for the columns would be such like this, like array for the first iteration, array 0 and 1 would be equal to array 1, 0. So as you can see, 0 is the row index and 1 is the column index. So here we are swapping it basically and changing it to this such that the row will become the 1 and column will become 0. Similarly for the second iteration, it will go like 0, 2, and it will be swapped with 2, 0 and so on. So, and we will do it in such a way that this will be possible just by starting the inner j loop, that is the column loop, from I plus 1. So that would be pretty good. And as we are not using any secondary arrays or any extra arrays, so, and we are doing all the things in place, so it would be an O1 space complexity. So that was pretty important for this question. So I hope you like the analogy of this Rubik's cube, and I will be erasing this. Don't worry, pencil marks come off it easily. So yeah, now I will be showing you the code of this problem. So here we have initialized the array, the same one as we took in the explanation, and n is the length of the array. So now we will start with our first step that we discussed, that is taking the transpose of the matrix. Yeah. So what we are basically doing is that we are interchanging the row with the column. So we will do it something like this. For int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. For int j equals to I plus 1, j less than n, j plus plus. So if you're wondering what is happening here, I really suggest that you try the dry run for this code, because I believe if you write it with your own hand, it will give you a better understanding of what's happening in the code. So I really suggest you try the dry run, and I promise that this j equals to I plus 1 is correct and it works. So yeah, it should be this. So what we are doing here is that we are interchanging, basically swapping the rows with the columns. So we will do it something like this, the normal swapping method that we follow. And temp equals to array ij equals to array ji equals to temp. So the swapping has been done. And at this point, if we print our new array, new 2D array, we will see that the transpose of that 2D array will be printed. So the first step has been completed. So now coming to the second step, as we discussed, was reverse every row. Reverse every row of the new transposed matrix. So what we will do here is that we will go to each row of the new transposed matrix like this, and we will follow we will create a reverse function. So we have two ways here. We can either create a reverse function on top using public static int reverse, stuff like that, and we can just call the reverse function here, or we can write our reverse function code just here, and for the ease of things I will be writing it right here, but you can also create a separate function for it. So we will be following the normal reverse function that we use even for 1D arrays, that is creating a left pointer that will be set to 0 and a right pointer that will be set to n minus 1. So like this, int left equals to 0, int right equals to n minus 1, and starting a while loop that goes from while left is less than right. So it will keep on going, and in this particular while loop we will swap the left element with the right element. So and the left and right pointers will keep on coming close to each other. So in the end we will swap, we will rotate, we will reverse, sorry, we will reverse the complete row, the complete 1D array in that, because inside the 2D array we have 1D arrays only. So yeah, so we will do the basic swapping method like this. Array I left, array I left would be set to array I right. So you can see the swapping is being done. Array I right equals to temp. And after that, we can just increment left and decrement right. So the loop keeps on going and eventually stops at some point. So at this particular point, the code is complete. We have completed both of our steps. Now we just have to print our answer to check that we are currently printing the correct answer and getting the correct answer. So we will do it something like this. For int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. For int j equals to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. So I hope you understand, by the way, that I here, the I index is for the rows and the j index is for the columns. So we are iterating rows and columns simultaneously at the same time. So, and you can see that we print 2D arrays like this in Java and almost any other programming language using on square for loops. So that's how it's done. And here we can just print array I j and yeah, do this. So this particular block is converting the original 2D array into the transpose of that 2D array, and this particular block is going, so this particular for loop, just a second, yeah, This particular for loop is going to every row of that 2D array, that new transposed 2D array, and this while loop is reversing the elements of that array. So we will get a new array now, and the answer would be the answer that we discussed in the explanation. So if I run this code now, you will see that we are getting the same answer as we discussed, that is 741852963. So this is done using in-place swapping as well. So O1 space complexity is used, and you can try out the solution yourself as it is LeetCode number 48. It would be good if you try it out yourself there, and make sure to try the dry run as well for better understanding. So I hope you enjoyed the explanation. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.